Hi, uh, hello everyone. So I'm still waiting for people to join in and then I will start the live. I have a few points that I have noted. I have a few points covered here. I'm online at two places. One is on right now on Instagram as well as on my Facebook group, workshops by Dr. Gaurav Deka and Cognate Leaders Academy. So I'm gonna wait for a few more people to join in and then I will start. Okay. Today's topic, for people who do not know, uh, today's topic is why and how are our previous significant intimate partners or ex partners important? Why the previous and the former relationships we have had are important? So I'm going to repeat the title of the topic. I'm still waiting for a few more people to join in. You can simply probably drop a hi or a hello to let me know that you're watching. Hello Mohini, hi. So it's 11:01 now and I would like to start without any delay. I'll just take another minute to declare what we are working on, what we are speaking on today, and what we are addressing today. So, we are addressing why and how are our previous significant partners. Hello, Shilpi. Hi. Previous significant partners, ex partners, or intimate partners are important in our life. How are they significant? As in, what role do they play? Hi Rakesh, hello. So we all know that the easiest way to get rid of an ex is perhaps to simply, block them on WhatsApp and block them on Facebook and then on Instagram and in every possible place that you can, okay? And you do that because of course you want to feel safe. You want to feel that all those traumas from the past shouldn't come to you and disturb you. All those feelings that you went through mustn't repeat, and you simply want to disconnect with them, which is okay on your part because you are doing it to protect yourself, to keep yourself safe, to have a sense of preservation for yourself, right? So you're doing it for that reason. But then what happens? What happens as a result? We also have to look at the consequences, that there are major consequences here, and these consequences we'll have to look at it, okay? Now, we have to see how we have separated from our exes. Have we separated peacefully and it was a calm separation? People simply parted from each other and they said peaceful goodbyes, and it was painful to let them go, but you still did? Or is it so that you had fireworks, you broke up and hello Hetvi, hi. You broke up and then there was only fireworks. There was a lot of drama, there was anguish, pain, a lot of blaming, a lot of guilt, and major drama with explosive works as well as explosive words, and could be a fight as well, right? So it doesn't matter how you have separated. The point is that when that relationship is over, how are you making a movement towards the rest of your life? Hello Shweta, hi. And how does it impact your next relationship or your current relationship or your present relationship, okay? So first we go back to how we have separated. Okay. So in both the situation, you are still connected to your ex. In one situation where you separated peacefully, you separated with good words, good intentions, and you could let the person go. But still, some part of you will remain in that relationship. The very fact that you could let go of it with peace and calm and understanding also shows that how much you valued that relationship, how much you wanted it. You understand that it didn't work out, and maybe you still love the person. That's why you are able to let go of them in that manner. In that case, your love and your loyalty and your intimacy and your truth with that person is still contained, is still there, right? So one part of you is in its all goodness still with that other person. Now when we move to a kind of breakup, a kind of separation, where you felt the need to denigrate, belittle, degrade the existence of the other person, or have a fight, and it ended up in explosive fireworks and drama, even there you don't realize, but the fact that you are able to be angry with the person, the fact that you reject the person, you denigrate, belittle, degrade, malign the other person, even to do that, you need to have an attachment. If you did not have an attachment, then how would you do it? You go over and over again on the drama, on the trauma associated with it, the difficulty that came up, the kind of angry words that were spoken, the frustration that came in. You go over and over again like a repeated play, right? And the more that goes on in your head in an obsessive manner, the more you feel a necessity, a need to remain in that space of trauma. You repeatedly keep going back, and your energies are consumed in that place. You repeatedly keep returning to that point, and a lot of your own being, your consciousness, your energy, your physical body remains in that space. So by these two examples, what I mean that your ex-partner becomes significant because they do occupy an energetic space in you, around you, in your family system. By the very fact that you have allowed, in the first place, you have allowed them to be with you in the capacity of a partner, by the very fact you have already allowed them entry into your own family system. For example, let us say I am a woman and I have a husband, a boyfriend, a partner, and then I break up. But does that discount the fact that I was emotionally, physically, energetically intimate with them? Does it discount the fact that I was in love with them at some point of time? Does it discount the fact that I was with them, I was being there, even if I was not physically around, I allowed them a space in my being? It doesn't discount that, right? Now the breakup has happened, and now maybe I have moved on. But then, is that space that I gave to the other person also gone? Is it truly gone? It's not gone. That intimate space still remains. And some remnants of that person and remnants of that relationship still remain. As I mentioned earlier also, it doesn't matter how you broke up. In both the cases, you are also unable to let go. However, so mind it, however, whenever The whole breakup ends up in abuse, maligning, throwing acid at each other, saying ill things, carrying ill feelings, and ends up in huge drama and fight. And you personally feel the need to do that to your ex. Let me correct you. There is no right and wrong about it. You did it, or you feel the need to do it, you feel the need to do it. I'm not trying to say that, that is wrong on your part. What I'm trying to say that if that happened, then what happens is, because you also are unable to let go of that person and the kind of energy that person carries in your space, your system, as in your family and your entire energetic family system, senses it. Because to the greater soul, to the family to which you belong, or to the family that you are going to create, let's say, for example, you broke up with your ex, and now after 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, you are on your way to create your own family. Okay? Let's say you fall in love with another person, and then you end up having a child, then you end up having another child. And people tell me that, well, I did have an ex, but that was, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. I don't think that's casting an effect on my family right now. I have a loving husband, and, I have loving children. But the only problem is, I tend to sense a void in our relationship. Everything seems to be perfect. I don't know why this void exists. And then my question automatically is, okay, tell me about your previous partner. What kind of relationship did you have with your previous partner? And let us see if this partner still happens to be in your space. And 9 out of 10 times, it is seen that they are in the person's space. Not only are they in the person's space, but the larger, greater soul of the family wants to give that person a space in the whole, scheme of things. So if it ended in a note where there were ill words spoken, where one could not respect the other, one could not honor the other, one could not walk out of the relationship having peace and love in their heart, which is difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, which is difficult. It will leave a space energetically occupied by this person. And the larger family system senses it, because the larger, greater soul sees it as an exclusion. And because it sees as an exclusion, therefore it will try to include it at every possible level, in every possible way. So what happens is, this kind of exclusion that happens in a long run plays in a detrimental way to people in the family system, as well as future generations. And I will talk about that, how it affects future generation. But then significant partners are important, because the intimacy, the truth, being ourselves, the connection that we shared with them automatically casts an energetic impact on us and our family and the family that we are going to form, and therefore we carry that energy with us wherever we go. Okay? So people may directly want to jump on, okay, how do we resolve it now? So we will get there, but first try and understand what's happening here. Okay? Moving on to, even if you had a difficult relationship with your ex-partner, it could be an abusive one, it could be one full of trauma, it could be one full of frustration and irritation, In all cases, you also have to look at every relationship that you are into, every relationship that you get into. What is your first intention of getting into that relationship? See, the initial and the first intention is important. Whatever intention you enter the relationship with is exactly what you will get out of that relationship. So, if I am a lonely man and I want to cure my loneliness, and now I am on a hunt to be in a relationship with someone, and I say that, oh, enough of all these, roaming around, and let me get into a relationship now, a serious relationship. Hi, Param. Hello. Hi. So then what happens that I am happy in the first few days, in the first few weeks, or perhaps in the first few months. But after a point of time, I begin to feel the same kind of loneliness that I was trying to run away from. What if I happen to be a promiscuous person, and I, out of reasons of my own or reasons, that I perceive from the society, I now want to settle down with one person. And then I go ahead and I do it. 6 months down the line, I find myself caught up in the same web of cheating, infidelity, moving around and being with other people. And perhaps the partner I believed in, the wife I believed in, the husband I believed in is also in the same cycle where we find them cheating, we find them being infidel, and our immediate reaction is either to cringe in guilt because of what we have done, or not see that and discard the other person. And then we now go about saying that, okay, I'm going to be okay this time, and I won't be doing all of this. Good riddance, because that person was also not good. So now let me go ahead and have a new relationship. So I go ahead and I do that. And then what I find is I am now having an affair 7 months down the line, and my significant other is also having an affair, and I discover it again, and I begin to wonder that why is it happening again and again? But the first thing is, it began with me, and my significant other was simply trying to replicate what is happening to me so that I remain in my space, and was simply repeating what I was doing, right? And I did not resolve it. I not only allowed it to stay there, but also maybe I gave space to my guilt and I withdrew, or I blamed the other person and cut it off. But there is always a systemic reason to understand that what was the initial intention with which I got into this relationship. Mind you, whatever intention you enter your relationship with, you will get exactly that out of it. If you are scared of loneliness, entering a relationship to get that off, you will exactly get loneliness out of it. If you feel that your actions are critical, you are critical of yourself and you are critical of your own promiscuity, you will exactly get that out of your relationship. If your intention is to have a partnership because you are afraid of your own company, you will again get fear of your own company out of that relationship. If you are entering a relationship to satisfy your parents, family, without yourself being totally involved in the relationship, you will again end up having family squabbles and domestic fights. If you are entering a relationship because you feel empty from inside, and now to fill up that emptiness, you want this relationship, you will exactly get that emptiness. If you are entering a relationship because you have an abusive mother or an abusive father, and now going away from them is what is going to solve your issue, because you now happen to be in a relationship and you can be elsewhere with your partner, you will exactly get abuse out of that relationship. So check what is it that you are entering the relationship for. I'm not saying that everyone is going to enter a relationship out of pure love, but then it is good to be aware of your own intentions. And whenever people break up, what I do is I do ask them that when you entered that relationship in the first place, 5 years back, 3 years back, 10 years back, what was your intention? What made you enter that relationship? Oh, I was young and I needed to be with someone, and I just thought it might be a passing affair. But then, what happened is, it became serious. But I didn't want to be with that person because that person was so immature and so insensitive, and they did not do anything. Then my question is, what was the stage at which you entered your relationship? You just said that you were young. How did you feel about being young and entering that relationship? Because you also said that it was meant to be a passing affair. And that's when, as we dig, we also realize that they did want the non-seriousness, the youthfulness, the fleetingness of that love, of that relationship. Maybe they changed in due course of time into people who wanted something else. Perhaps more grounding, more gravity, more security, more safety. But then what was the initial intention? The initial intention was, I was young and I simply wanted to be in a passing affair and I just wanted to feel it. The initial intention, the initial feeling was like that. But then it led to something else. So then I asked them that, can you look at that part of that previous significant partner and see that they provided you exactly that, even if it means in the first month of your courtship. Later you may have your own complaints and they may have their own complaints, but did they provide in the first place what you were looking for, even if it means that they provided it for a month or a week? And the answer is almost always yes, that they did. And then of course differences came up. Differences can also come up because of many other reasons. Some of these reasons are also carried forward by us from our family of origin. For example, I may be carrying certain differences with my partner, which I have collected over a period of time from my parents and from my previous generation. Similarly, they are not coming into this alliance, to this relationship alone, all by themselves. They are also carrying something from their parents and then their family members, as well as from their previous generations. So when two people are meeting and having a relationship, having a connection, even a marriage, does it mean that two people are marrying? It's a marriage of belief systems also that they have carried from their family systems, isn't it? And because those belief systems are also marrying each other, there has to be a safe space where they can be expressed, given their due space, due position, and due acknowledgement. Many times that doesn't happen because one partner feels either lesser from the other, one feels stronger than the other, one feels that they need to push the other, one feels that they need to object and oppose the other, one feels that they need to remain a victim, someone feels that they need to become a savior. Why does that happen? It happens because of these different belief systems that you carry unconsciously from your own family systems, but you do not realize. You feel that your problem is individualistic in nature, but the problem is not individualistic in nature. The problem is systemic in nature. You carry things from your system, and you get married to this person who happens to be carrying belief systems and feelings from their systems and get married to you. And now, ideally, I'm saying about the ideal situation, I'm not saying about how it should be, I'm just saying ideally, your partner needs to become your safe space where you can bring out your own belief systems, and whatever needs to be healed you gets healed. Similarly, you need to become the safe space for your partner, and whatever they carry from their family system needs to be expressed and healed. So it's not just marriage of two individuals or connection of two individuals, relationship of two individuals, but it's the connection, relationship, marriage of two big systems that are coming together. And both of you are representatives of the system. But that's not how it works for most of us, because we are unaware. And if people ask me how do we become aware, precisely people like me who are talking about it simply by becoming aware of them, reading more, watching more, and knowing from this perspective. So what happens is, these differences in mindsets and belief systems that both people carry from different families, like I carry it from my family and they carry it from their family, what happens is, because there is no space for them, because there is no expression, no awareness, no acknowledgement, they come up in the form of differences between spouses, differences between partners, differences between a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Okay? And then it leads to the relationship not working out. But then when it doesn't work out, we again do not look at our own system, that what is it in my space and what is it in my system and what is it in my family that I have carried forward to have a partner like this, and then to go through a breakup where our opinions and attitudes and ideas and feelings could not match. We don't do that. We simply put it aside and we move on, right? And when we move on, what happens is we repeat it. The pattern repeats. It replicates, because we are unable to take our previous partners in our heart, and we are unable to say that this was a beautiful relationship, or even if it was a difficult relationship, I am willing to look at the beauty I experienced in the beginning of this relationship. I am willing to look at my own intention at the beginning of this relationship. I am willing to look at the fact that I contributed towards this relationship and the other person contributed, and there was this much beauty in it. I am willing to look at this relationship from the point of view where there were a lot of differences and a lot of ill things mentioned, but then what I now carry in my heart is the goodness and the beauty that I had in this relationship, even if it was for a short period, a short while. We can't do that. And because we can't do that, we suffer, and our present relationship and current relationships are hampered. So many times you have seen that you get out of a relationship, enter a new relationship, and then you start viewing your partner, start viewing your spouse through the same lens that you viewed your ex-partner. Why does that happen? Because you carry the energy, you carry the lens. Understand that intimate relationship establishes very strong energetic cord between us and the other person, and simple goodbyes are not going to solve it. The energetic bond becomes way stronger when there is sexual intimacy involved. When there is physical intimacy involved, it becomes way stronger. And then just by walking out, not acknowledging it, not giving it a space, or simply by forgetting about it is not going to solve your issue. You will carry it in your next relationship. Many times, even if we have made peace, and even if we have forgotten, we keep on saying that some part of that relationship was so nice. I stayed in that relationship for 7 years of my life, and then for 5 years it was so beautiful, and I don't know what happened in the next 2 years. It simply fell apart. So what is happening here when you are speaking like that? It also means that you are also in that dream of that relationship that you had. You are still there, and because you are still there, your present partner, your present boyfriend, girlfriend, they sense it energetically, and because they sense it energetically, they also begin to withdraw from you, and you do not realize that why is that happening. Why is this void being created? Why is this distance being created? And why is he or she or they behaving like that? And you begin to feel that there is a separation that is happening, because somewhere energetically you are still in that dream of a relationship that you had once, that those 5 years are so beautiful. I still think about them. I wish I had them back. By doing that, first of all, you are stuck in a dream. Secondly, you are also not taking your ex in your heart, saying that, okay, I now take all the goodness in my heart and I let go of the rest. And thirdly, you are also not present in your present relationship, current relationship, even if you are 24/7 present with your spouse or present with your partner. Because energetically you are not present, energetically you are in that dream. Okay? So this is how an ex-partner influences our life and our current relationship. Now, moving on to how does our ex-partners and ex-spouses influence and affect our children, and how, if I am a child and my father or my mother had a significant intimate former ex-partner, why is it important for me to look at it? Okay, so I'll be short here because I speak about it a lot in my relationship class which I conduct in Family Constellation, but I'll just shortly say here, express it, that as I mentioned, that if I have not acknowledged, put aside, forgotten, maligned, denigrated, degraded the ex-partner and moved into this relationship, because of those actions that I have done, this person automatically becomes a part of my family system. And because this person becomes a part of my family system automatically, because that's how a system operates, that's how a family operates, one of my child may feel a great need to identify with this person. And what may happen is this child of mine might, so let's assume if I am a man and I had a relationship with a woman who I denigrated and maligned and forgot and all of that. So now I am in a current relationship and I do have a child, and my child probably identifies with the former partner. And then what will happen is, here there may be two circumstances. The child may feel a great need to oppose me, to go against me, to say that, I love you, Dad, but then you are so, let's say, non-understanding. You all the time misunderstand me and you make my life so difficult. I wish I could be, I wish I had a different father. So what is the language that is being spoken by the child? The language that is being spoken is of the former partner, that, I love you, but then you are so angry, abusive, aggressive in nature. I wish, You understood me. Similarly, what may happen is sometimes when a relationship breaks off in a manner where I could not fulfill my love and the other person could not fulfill their love with me or have a successful relationship, and the relationship broke for whatever reason. Maybe it's because of the family, maybe my mom and dad wanted me to marry someone else, maybe society did not accept it, whatever the reason is. What may happen is, now when I have a child, the child may take up that position, and what may happen is it may automatically start opposing my current wife, because the child is identifying in the position of my former partner who I longed for and who they longed for. So in the process, my child can become my emotional carrier. It may lead to emotional incest. They may become my crying shoulder. They may become the sort of person who always stands by me and wants to take care of me and love me and says that I'm never going to leave you, but at the same time has great difference of opinion with my current wife, as in with the child's mother, and says that you don't understand that and you are not fit for that, something like that, because the child is in the position of the former partner. How to resolve it? We resolve it in family constellation process by giving the child its adequate space and the former partner the adequate space and the adequate position. Okay, so the significant ex-partner becomes important in this case because they are either forgotten or not given their due space or not given their due position, and therefore energetically the family tries to repeat that, and family tries to seek balance, and family tries to bring them back inside. So how does the family work? The family works by the law of inclusion. Anyone who has been excluded, including an ex-partner, the family soul and the family whole will try to include them in the system, in the matrix. So that is how an ex-partner also appears in our current family. So that is also the reason why, for me also, if I have a difference of opinion with one of my parents, it is an important point to check. I'm not saying it's the only point. I'm saying that it is an important point to check if one of my parents had a former significant partner, if at any level I might be identifying with that partner. Many times it happens, and this is an important point. Many times it happens that, let's say I am a child, and my mother had a previous significant partner, and then she got separated and married my dad. Now my dad also had a former significant partner, and he had to leave her for whatever reason. Maybe it was traumatic, maybe it was guided by family, but he had to leave her and come ahead and marry my mother. And then when both of them got married, I am born. Now let us also assume that my father and his former wife has a child, and my mother has a child with a former partner. So what happens energetically, speaking energetically here, okay, understand. So what happens is, how is my soul going to feel? What will be the energy of my soul? These people who have existed before me have made sacrifices. They have separated, and that is when my parents could come together. Even the children had to leave their parents, and that is when my parents come together, and then I am born. So energetically, will I be able to live with that guilt? The answer is no. That is why there are times when children born after the separation of both the partners, they getting married and the child being born, a child finds it very difficult to live a complete and full life. There is definitely a resolution to it by bringing the ex-partners into the system into the matrix and giving them a sense of a position of inclusion by honoring them. All of that are there in therapeutic process. But this is for your awareness that you will see that such children growing up into adults find it very difficult to live a complete and full life. Okay, so I'm just going to read a comment. I have to tilt my head because the phone is lateral. So Aditi is saying, thank you so much, doc. This is so deep and so important to understand. Conditioning is what we keep fighting because that is so deep rooted. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you, Aditi. Thanks a lot for putting this comment and acknowledging the work. And therefore, the only way we can move ahead in life and be in significant current relationships is by giving our previous partner a space in our heart. I make people do an exercise, and probably you can do this exercise with me. Okay. Okay, we have a question. Does being in touch as friends with ex-partners impact current or future relationship? Intention. So when you are friends, what is your intention of remaining friends? If you are not friends, what is your intention of not remaining friends? If you are friends and you are able to take the person in your heart and say that I choose to see the beauty that I had with you, and now I keep you here and I embrace this life of mine. Look at me kindly as I move on. Okay, and I give what we had in our relationship a space in our heart. If you are truly able to practice that in spirit, in spirit, if you are truly able to practice that in spirit, there is no problem in being friends. Okay, so Paramita is saying, amazing Gaurav, this answers a lot. Love and blessings. Thank you so much, Paramita. We have another question. Okay, how about ex-partner isn't alive anymore, and also the lady has moved on and has children but still not able to move on? All the more important, when our this is important, and thank you for this question. This is important. So the question is that what happens if the ex-partner is not alive anymore, and the lady happens to be married and has children, but is still there? So it works equally for children who lose their parent prematurely. Always feel a need, and by losing I mean the parents die. Okay, they feel a great need to follow their parent to death. So sometimes after a parent dies, children end up having a lot of falls and sickness and illness. Sometimes they get into addiction and then they try to commit suicide. What is happening at the energetic level? These are things happening at the physical level, societal level, but then what's happening at the energetic level? At the energetic level, the child is simply following the death of their parent by self-destruction. Similarly, in case of partners also, if it was a significant relationship and the partner did not survive, so that's what I'm saying. Listen to me, not the parent, you said, but I gave an example. So now I'm coming to the partner. That I gave the example of the child following the parent. Now come to what happens when a partner dies. When a partner dies, I may move on in life. I may get married. I may live a life with my husband or my wife. But one part of me will try to follow the ex-partner unto death. For example, how children move towards the death of the parent. That is why I gave the example. Okay? So while one part of you is with the dead partner, it will try to follow the dead partner until you give the dead partner a space in your heart, as well as look at the beauty of that relationship, as well as let them go to death and say that You died, I live. And maybe one day I will see you. But then, this is my space for now. And then, this is my children. These are my children. This is my husband. Please look kindly upon us from there. I honor our relationship, but I stay here with my children and with my husband. My question is, be patient. Do you have the power and the strength and the courage to do that? You don't have to answer it in the comments. Ask yourself, go back to it, think about it. If you have the power, if you have the courage to do that, you will see a great relief in you. Okay? So that's what you do in the exercise also. You give your former partners their true space, true needed space. For example, with me, think about your first partner and close your eyes and say, I give you a space in my heart. I choose to see the beauty we had in our relationship, and I choose to carry it in my heart. You are my first lover or first partner. Your position in my life will always be of that first lover, first partner. Now similarly, if you come to the second, maybe you can tell the second the same thing, that you are the second. You come after him or after her, and I will carry from now on the beauty we both had. I choose to carry the love that we had, even if it was for a limited period or a short period. And your position in my life will always be of the second. You come after him or after her or after them. Moving on to the third one also, you give them their due position and tell them that they are third and that you choose to see the beauty in what you had with them. And give them their due position by showing that you come after these two. And then as you move on, maybe you come to your current partner and tell that you are my current. And now I choose to stay with you here. And you come after all of this. 1, 2, 3, whatever the numbers are. You know, when you do that, what you are doing is you are giving everyone their due position, their due credit, their due acknowledgement, and taking them in your heart and still choosing your current position. That is what we call as, taking our ex-partner in our heart and still able to let go. It is again a very deep concept in practice. In the live, I could only cover whatever information I could give you here. But at the same time, in practice, it does take a lot of time. In therapy, it does take a lot of time. In learning modalities by which you can heal your relationship, one of the most powerful one is family constellation. It does take quite an amount of time. Okay, our family constellation workshop is ongoing. If any one of you happens to be interested, you can always ping me, DM me, ask me about it. Okay, so I'll just look if there are any more questions and then I will end the live. If there is infidelity and partner wants to come back, will the relationship be with the same with the kids and wife? I don't know. You have to check, and also not able to move out of the current relationship. Well, we are unable to move out of the current relationship because, of course, we are scared, because uh, we feel that if I now move out of this relationship, who is going to take me? Or what if I don't find anyone? So, okay, someone has commented, so knowledgeable, something which is so many of us are ignorant about. Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much. Thank you. So these were the Instagram audience. I will end it here for Instagram. Okay, thank you so much, and